Hello, you are now about to watch a tutorial. How to take a numeric pattern made up of rows of numbers and turn it into a real creation, that is, book folding. To start, I'll present all the tools needed for the task. First, of course, we need the pattern. You can purchase patterns on the website. There will be endless patterns. In addition, we need a pencil, an eraser, preferably a mechanical pencil. I'll explain later, scissors, and a folding tool. There are several types. I use this tool, but there are countless types you can use. And this is the ruler. You can also use a regular 30-centimeter ruler to begin with, but later I recommend using a T-square like this, which will allow you to mark more precisely and work much faster. So let's begin. Step 1. Of course, we look at the pattern. You can see on the pattern it says the number of pages. For this project, the number of pages is 301, and the book height is 21 centimeters. What does that mean? If I choose a book, I must make sure that the book has at least 301 pages, and that the height of the book is not less than 21 centimeters. Otherwise, the design won't fit in the book, it will overflow, and you won't be able to do the work properly. Now we'll move to page number 1. One option is to take the old ruler. Now look at how the book is placed. You can see the orientation. I'm holding the book. This is page number 1. I hold the ruler like this, okay? Meaning the numbers are actually upside down. This is in order to ensure that the image will end up straight, that the object in the design I want to make, in my case the dancer, will have the hands at the top and the legs at the bottom, not the other way around. That's why I start like this. Another option is to take the other ruler, place it here, and mark. As you can see, at the top numbers I mark the line straight. In this specific case, I made sure that the page numbering of the book matches the pattern exactly. If I had extra pages, I would have had to mark the page numbers. That's not the case here. Now this is page number 1. I place the ruler, look at the pattern, and see that on page number 1, which is here, it says 11.4 and 11.5. I go here, look at 11.4 centimeters, and draw. The second is 11.5. It's very important to mark an X above the numbers. Right now it's not critical because there are only 2 lines, but later when you have projects with many lines, this will serve to check that you didn't get the number of lines wrong or miss a line, which would mess up the whole project. From page 1 I move to page 3. In this case, I see here 11.3 and 11.5. I place the ruler. Remember, I bring it to a point where I can mark, and I mark 11.3 and 11.5, and again I make an X between the lines. And continue. Here you see page 5. For page 5, it's 11.3 and 11.6. So I mark 11. You can use either the regular ruler or this one, the T-square. I'll do it just for demonstration. I place the ruler here. Now I'm on page 7. I align the ruler to the edge, 0 to 0. Look at the pattern at the row for page 7, and it says here 11.6 and 11.2. I mark in the book and make an X. Okay, we'll move to page 9. Again with the ruler. Remember the numbers are reversed from me and outward. You could flip the book and work. Everyone should work how it's comfortable. What matters is that you enjoy what you're doing and that it's done accurately. Okay, let's see. We're now on page 9. We'll mark according to the pattern. We have 2 lines here. I marked an X. And we continue like this until the end of the book. The marking stage is the most important stage in the whole process, so it's important to do it as precisely as possible. It's very important to mark the X's in the correct place. Okay, because it means that between those 2 lines I cut and make a fold, as I'll explain later. The next step is to start cutting the book. Now, since there are a lot of pages and cutting is a very long process, I recommend cutting the book 50 pages at a time. Don't try to do the whole book in one go, because it'll get in your way. Begin cutting now, up to 50 pages. Look, I hold the book straight. Now, in the next pages, once I already have pages cut, I also use the lines. Yes, I look and use the lines to cut straight. In my case, since I want to make use of the black text and the white as part of the pattern, I cut the lines to a distance of about 1 centimeter, a bit more than 1 centimeter, into the text, like this. Okay, I move on and continue. Excellent. After cutting about 50 pages, I need to prepare a helper sheet that will help me make the folds as accurately as possible. I took an A4 sheet, folded it, not exactly straight, roughly 60/40ths. I left about 3 centimeters on each side, and you'll soon understand what it's for. And then I went to the text, measured the distance between the text and its margins, and drew 2 lines. One line will be in the white margins, and a second, deeper line will be into the text. This way I can separate the figure from the background and make the figure stand out. And this will be inside the text. You'll soon see what I mean. The role of this paper is to ensure the folds are straight. Let's start. Now, I don't place the sheet under page 1. Say, page number 1. I put the sheet under page number 3 like this, you see? And then when I place page number 1 on the paper, I have lines underneath it that allow me to make the folds. Now I take the edge of the page and start with the shorter line, which means the outer part will be on the white area. Now, this is the part 1 want to be on the text. At the moment you can't really see it because on this page there isn't much text on the other side. I mark it like this. At least this line will be straight. That's what's important. I take the other side the same way. Great. Now the next step. I go to page number 5, fit the line sheet. Of course we already know how to set it up here. I place it like this. Make sure it's properly inside, and again fold it along the short line like this, or with the tool, however is comfortable for each person. Next step. Go to this area. Look, here it's already starting to be over the text, and continue like that. Okay, let's do one more example, one more page. Great. Now I move to page number 9. In order to be able to fold page number 7, I put the helper sheet under page 9. Sorry, my mistake. This under page 7 and this under page 5, like this, and again fold along the short line, and then make a deeper fold. As you'll notice, this part already has a black mark from the text. Later it will be much more noticeable, of course, when there are more pages with 3, even 5, cutting tabs. Okay, we'll take a break. I'll stop the video until I get to an area with more cuts, and then I'll continue filming. Here we are. We've reached pages that contain 6 marks and 3 deep folds into the black. So what we need to do is take the marked lines and fold. That is, first step. Take the first tab and fold it to the inner line, which gives us the white part. Then we take the 2 lines we marked with an X to the second line, and repeat, meaning, short line, and when there's an X, to the inner line. And as you'll notice, you can already see the text on the other side of the page. Likewise, we continue. When there's no X, we finish at the short line. Here we have an X, as you can see, so it goes to the inner line. And again, note there is no mark here, no lines and no X, so this one goes to the short line. We've completed another nice page. Now we go to page, we place it underneath. Through page 63, place the helper paper and continue folding. You see, there's no short line mark. There are the marks we prepared for the longer inner line, and we can identify the text. Same here. An X, again a long line. No short line mark. Excellent. I'll try to keep working precisely. I have an X here. That means, again, the more distant line, and again there's no short line mark. That completes this page nicely. In this way we continue until we've done all the pages. Mark, cut, fold, and keep going in sequences until we reach the end of the book. Here we are near the end. We'll continue with the last 4 pages that remain, all with the same method. I remind you, the first part goes to the short line, the second part to the deeper fold. Great, here's the last page. Excellent, and that essentially wraps up the cutting and folding stage, and the book should now be ready. Now I'll check the book as a whole to see if we have any issues.